After grinding, emphasis on grinding out a 5-game Eastern road swing, the Edmonton Oilers, they are back at Rogers Place for 1 game, and then they're back out on the road trip out west this time. But tonight, it's the Montreal Canadiens in town, the red-hot Habs, who are finding their way this season. Should be a good one down at Rogers Place. Should be a good one down here at Dogpatch in the River Valley. But hello and welcome to Pregaming with Bordzy, brought to you by Bet365. Download the app today, because whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. People, we are down here at Dogpatch right now, and Panger, it is absolutely bumping this place. Every single seat is taken up, and I think we're going to have a good one this evening. Come on down, obviously. We're going to be here for a lot of games in October, November. But Sean Panganiban joining me this evening, his first pre-gaming of this season. Panger, it's good to have you back, buddy. Just you, me, and Brett shooting the shit upstairs again. Feels like the band's back together, right?
Absolutely. The vibes are high tonight. Just hanging with Bordzy, hanging with Brett. The vibes are always high. I'm stoked to be here. And just if there are any bilingual listeners, just because the Oilers are playing les habitants tonight, I'll say in French, je suis excité de ce soir. Oui, un petit peu de français.
That's why Panger is one of the best pre- and post-game guests, co-hosts you can have, because he brings a little bit extra for the people. Once again, Dogpatch, buddy, the moment we start,
Cheers.
They put the beers down for us, and they know they're going to keep delivering beers if we basically the rule is once it's finished on the show, they will come and bring you another one. There's no questions asked. That's the service you're going to get at Dogpatch. But let me enjoy this quickly, Panger.
Once it hits your lips, it's so tasty. Great Nation beer to start the show.
That's an Odd Company Nation beer, everyday lager, people, down at Dogpatch. It's a good one. But let's get caught up in the chat right now, because Brett, he did do it. It's Austin, his first comment of the day. He's back. He said his comments weren't showing up. He's always first in there, so it did feel weird to not see him. He's back. Test, test, test. Is this thing on? Bordzy, you know what to do, my ON fam. Get the fuck up. Let's fire it up. To be clear, I have not been late to these streams. My comments have not been posting. Austin, I believe you, because you've been DMing me to let me know every step of the way. Cody's in. Is it game time yet? Yeah, I'll be honest. After a 5-game Eastern road swing, 7 p.m. local puck drop, actually feels pretty late. Like I wasn't rushed all day. We had plenty of time to eat some food before, get extra prepped, even look up your French speaking if you needed to. Cedric's in, pardon my French, but about fucking time they put Savoy in a good position, and let's go for my Moncton boy Pickard. Get us a W. That's right, folks. Matt Savoy, we've all been banging the drum here at Oilers Nation. Well, tonight he gets his opportunity on the top line with Connor and Leon. Does he stay there past 20 minutes, Panger? Gun to your head, what do you think?
Yes. I think so. I mean, if we were given the pattern that Chris Knobloch has done for most of the season, he might be off by the first 10 minutes. However, should he stay and give him a full game? Absolutely. Matt Savoy has earned it. He's done everything except for score this season. Played good defensively, hard on the puck, beating out defensemen. Huge big block on the PK. He's 5th among forwards on PK minutes. Matt Savoy, he's in and around the net. He's bound to score. I think once he pots his first one, the floodgates are going to open.
Open, brother, and he has been around it. We'll continue to bring that up as this show moves along, but Matt Savoy, he was Jay's anytime goal scorer bet. We got a big game day Bet365 betting challenge on Oilers Nation every day. Today, Jay Downton, our fearless leader, he's going with a Matthew Savoy anytime goal, and the floodgates, they'll open up. Cheryl's in, my queen. She says, here we go, Oilers. Looking for another W tonight. I don't care what month it is. Lance Kane's in. I don't want to alarm everyone, but the Oilers are getting a W. I'm not alarmed. I'm a little aroused, Lance Kane. I'm kidding. Bella's in. Quick stop back home. Let's make it a good one. And then Rusty, what up, y'all? Let's get the W. He says, the wife left for a weekend getaway with her sisters today. Uh-oh. Hockey and pizza for me tonight. LFG. Shout out, Rusty. You can hang with me, playing some bird. Brad with the noise. I knew he was going to find a way to work those in. We found new buttons today at the office, so we're going to play with them, Mr. Burns. Let's go, Oilers. Time for game 2 of the Heater Cup year
Cup. Yeah.
Yeah, we're back.
Oh,
I
yeah.
said I wasn't going to say it for a month or two. First game they won, I was yelling it on the post
I was
game
a little
show.
rusty there. Holy, give me another one.
Cup, yeah.
Cup. Yeah.
There it is. Y2 Bag. Who, Brad? We love you. He says, Ayo, let's grab a W tonight. I'll be the captain. I'm just here for the dubs. Lisa, I love you guys. I love you guys, all right?
Lisa.
I have the greatest time hanging out with you guys. I got the greatest job. And once again, just a reminder, come on down to Dogpatch. Keep it locked on our socials because me and Brett and our revolving door of guests that we're going to have are going to be here a lot in October and November. There you see it on your screen. We'll be back next Tuesday where I will probably be very hungover from the nation vacation. That's never stopped the boards man before. Boards man gets paid, as we all know. Lawrence is in and says, let's go Montreal. Bye-bye, folks. We appreciate anyone.
Absolutely.
You gave French for that guy specifically.
For sure.
So shout out to him. So Panger, the Edmonton Oilers, obviously back home for a one-game homestand. It has been a bit of a mixed bag to start the season here for the Edmonton Oilers. I've barely seen you. I've been barely able to talk to you all summer and, of course, to start the year. So I'm curious your kind of overall thoughts on the Edmonton Oilers. We have seen dog shit starts in the history of the Oilers in October. And while at points on this road trip, it kind of felt like that 3-1 through 7 games. This is the best start we've ever had in pre-gaming history, and it's not even close. There's been bright spots. Some of the young guys, Stuart Skinner, standing on his head. He's not going to be the starter tonight, but I'm still going to ask your opinion on him. There's also been some low spots. The Edmonton Oilers' inability to shoot, the lack of offense from your big dogs in the top 6, the inability to complete a simple breakout pass. Darnell Nurse, I'm kind of looking at you. I think some of those issues still plagued them against the Ottawa Senators. You were up 2-0. There's no way that game should have ever gone to overtime, but the Oilers tend to play with their food. Overall, 7 games in, I'm curious, what's your vibe check on the Oilers thus far?
Yeah, I hate to blame it on that Stanley Cup final hangover for the second season in a row, but I kind of think it's a little bit there, right? A few months ago, you're Game 6, you're playing for the Stanley Cup for the second season in a row. You're playing at an all-time, your competitive level, and then dark October, it's hard to get going, right? And for the Edmonton Oilers, they haven't got going. We haven't seen the best from their star players. Connor McDavid comes into the season saying, hey, I'm going to score 50 goals. It's not a fluke. He's been passing up his shooting opportunities. I look at someone like Evan Bouchard, 1 assist in 7 games. That's not the Evan Bouchard that we saw 4, 5, 6 months ago type of thing, right? The star players aren't playing to where they should. There's lack of execution. Keeping it simple sometimes could be the way to get out of this. And for the Oilers, it's just not connecting yet. Against the Senators, they're trending upwards, and here hoping tonight against Les Habitants at home, here's hoping that they could change. Things can change a little bit for them.
Yeah, I like Bella's in here. 500, and we're 7 games in. I've seen worse, LOL. I also like Tyler's in. He reposted this stream on X. Nice. Shout out to him, people. I apologize if we're a little disconnected right now and you're not able to see our camera. We're live at Dogpatch. We got a lot of moving parts going on right now. So quickly, let me step out for 1 second. We'll be right back. Brett, keep that up. I like some people in here. Marvin put the silence is deafening. Also, you should have felt my heart when it kind of cut out right there when the camera stopped working. But we are back. I was able to ditch my sweater in that time frame as well. Some technical difficulties down here at Dogpatch. I don't know if a cord got yanked. I don't know really what happened right there, but we're gonna continue to power through. I like Buff Snelda. What's good to eat at Dogpatch? I've never been there. And Lance Game, this made me laugh. So you guys come around here often. What do you chat about when it's just silence on the screen? I apologize. Bear with us for our technical difficulties. But we like the Oilers, the spot that we're in. I didn't like any bit of that road trip from the Edmonton Oilers. And that's why, thank the sweet Lord, that the Edmonton Oilers are home sweet home. They're finally back home tonight. They're at Rogers Place. As I mentioned, it's just one game, and then they're back out on the road. It's basically an extended 8-game road trip, if you will. You do get 2 nights to sleep in your own bed in town because the Oilers left right after Tuesday night in the nation's capital against the Senators. They had an optional practice yesterday where we saw a lot of the struggling Edmonton Oilers out there. Darnell Nurse, argue probably should have been out there, but we saw guys, young guys, Freddie, Roslovic, some of those names, Zach Hyman as well. And there's reasons to be optimistic for the Oilers back on home ice. We all know the offense here has been struggling, especially 5v5 for the Edmonton Oilers. And we all know this team tends to produce more on home ice in front of their home crowd. You combine that with the fact they have slept in their bed for the last 2 nights. And I think that it should have this team in a much better spot mentally. Paraphrasing, but some interviews with Connor McDavid I read earlier today, it was him saying, I really don't know why we're struggling so bad offensively, but hopefully we found something there against the Ottawa Senators. They got a big goal in overtime, and maybe that's just the mental hurdle that you need to get over and then come back home. But it's the lack of offense here, Pangs, that has been killing the Edmonton Oilers. 5v5, the Oil, through 7 games, have yet to score more or 3 goals or more at 5v5. They did that in 38% of their games last season. So we know the offense will come. I believe they are way too good for it not to come. But the Edmonton Oilers need to generate simple offense. We talk about the inability to capitalize, the inability, look, just not wanting to shoot the puck from time to time, whether it's off the rush, whether it's in the greasy areas. I think the Oilers need to funnel pucks towards the net, and we'll get into it a little bit later. The Montreal Canadiens, the goals they allow, they come from right in the blue paint, right in the dead slot, where the Edmonton Oilers have been a little discouraged to go to start the season.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you mentioned, the Montreal Canadiens, they leak goals in the slot. So tonight, I'm looking at someone like David Tomashik, who has had many, many chances in the slot. I still think it's coming from, but this is a night for him to shine, show his offensive instincts. I'm looking at someone like, hey, Trent Frederic. We signed you for a really big contract. That is your bread and butter, to jam in front of the net. I'm looking for someone like Trent Frederic. The meat and potatoes type of shifts, we haven't really seen that from the Edmonton Oilers, and we're hoping to see that tonight.
I want some greasy, gross ones. And then you look at that third line. They got Noah Philp, Trent Frederic, and Vasily Podkolzin expected to go together tonight. That's the simple, I would say, lunch pail, hard hat. You're going to work that day if you're on that trio. So we'd like that. I think tonight, I made the comment earlier on O&E, this is a shin pad night. This is a shin pad night for the Edmonton Oilers. Someone's got to score a greasy one and a gross one. And we talk about the Edmonton Oilers needing an offensive spark. Well, they might be getting one this evening in Matthew Savoy, the 21-year-old, finally getting his shot with the Edmonton Oilers top line. Slated to play with both McDavid and Draisaitl. And I don't like the argument people have said that the Edmonton Oilers haven't given Matt Savoy a serious shot in the top 6 at points. Because I go back to last year, the first 4 games he played were on Leon Draisaitl's wing, and he's definitely gotten that opportunity. We've said it a lot throughout the start this season, but we like the way Matt Savoy looks out there. He does the little things right. He has a very high hockey IQ, and while the points haven't shown up yet, 1 point in 7 games this season, he has 1 point in his 12 games in the National Hockey League in his career. He has done all of the little things right, and I think Chris Knobloch recognizes that. And the argument I want to make is that Matt Savoy getting the shot on the top line isn't like a, I don't know, defensive move because other guys are struggling and other guys aren't producing in that spot. It is totally because Matt Savoy has grabbed this opportunity. He has earned this opportunity. We've seen him show flashes offensively in the bottom six. We've seen him be very stable and responsible defensively. Yet on top of that, he's a stable penalty killer here for the Edmonton Oilers at 21 years of age. Once again, he got a shot with the top power play, and tonight he's getting a shot with Connor and Leon. I cannot say enough about Savoy. I think this chat's probably sick of me, but I love his intangibles. I love the way that he just moves his feet. The reason he's in good opportunities is because his feet are always moving. And once again, there's different versions of that. We've seen Nail Yakupov get swarmed by a bunch of bees before and was moving his feet. This seems more tactical. This is more dialed in and what Matt Savoy is doing. He does not have a goal yet in his NHL career. He only has 1 point. And I like the odds for him on Bet365 tonight to possibly cross off both of those. Panger, thoughts on Matt Savoy getting a shot on the first line?
Absolutely. Matt Savoy, he's got some very quick first steps. And when you're playing with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, and I hate to say it, but you do need someone to retrieve the puck. Matt Savoy, he showed throughout the entire season, he's beaten defensemen to pucks. And he can not only grind, but he has skills. And for him, it's just a matter of time. On that road trip, he got on a shift with Connor McDavid. McDavid found him in the slot, rang one off the bar. Against the Senators. He was in tight, and he shot the puck, and I was going to raise my hand and say Matt Savoy's first NHL goal, but he was just absolutely robbed by Ullmark. Again, we mentioned once Matt Savoy, it's an opportunity. I don't want to say of a lifetime, but it's a really big opportunity.
I think players dream of playing with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, and to get that opportunity at 20 years of age, it's pretty incredible, and that says a lot about what he's done to earn this spot so far. Tyler had a good point today on ONE, and he goes, our new thing this year is we're not overreacting. We're not overreacting to anything. Ask me in the new year if you think how I feel about the Edmonton Oilers, but that is overreaction was these next couple games for Matt Savoy might determine whether he's a 50-point player this year or if he's a 30-point guy this season. If he can grab it, the bull by the horns right now with Connor and Leon, he's going to give Nobby no choice because we know Nobby rewards smart, defensive, responsible play. That's exactly what Savoy's done. He's chipped in, had his moments. It's a little bit snake-bitten right now. Floodgates need to open. I keep seeing, I think it was Sasky Oil in here said, she respelled it. I like watching Montreal play. They are young, fast, and tough, and should be a good game. I was telling you before the show, I have been drinking the Montreal Canadiens Kool-Aid. I started watching that Crave documentary that they've been doing about the rebuild, and if that's propaganda, it's working on me, folks, because you get to see some of the inner workings of that organization, a very successful organization in NHL history, and they've just kind of done a little bit of everything right. They are on the upswing of this rebuild. Yes, obviously, last year they made the playoffs. They had just squeaked in. I don't think anyone expected them to make some noise, but a lot of people this summer had the Montreal Canadiens circled as their team to watch in the Eastern Conference, the team that might be coming down the pipe here in a year or two. And right now, they are 6-2-0 to start the season. They have had an unreal start to the year. However, I will point out they have played Detroit, Chicago, Seattle, Nashville, Buffalo, Calgary. Those aren't the greatest squads out there, but damn it, you play who you play, and you do not apologize for a win. Their stars, their young stars right now have been producing. They're also going to be getting Kirby Dach back tonight in this hockey game. But the Habs, 7th in the NHL in goals per game right now. I think they've been pretty defensively responsible in their own end as well. And while this Montreal team has been in the rebuild, they are still very young. You look at a lot of those names, their star players, their leadership core, they are young as shit. They are here now. They have arrived. And this team, they make me nervous. They make me happy that we don't play in the Eastern Conference, or should I say they're not in the West. Banger, what have you thought about the Habs 6-2-0 start to the season? And have you watched that documentary yet? Because I highly recommend it. It's been working on me. I drafted Nick Suzuki. I'm drafting everybody on the Habs this year, and so far, I look pretty smart.
I haven't watched that documentary. I haven't drinking the Habs Kool-Aid yet. However, I think they're a dynamic team. Yeah. Young, dynamic, firepower. You think of like Demidov, right? It's technically, I believe, his rookie season. Yeah. They had him out in OT last night, and he got like such a unique assist using his edges. And he's not technically seen as one of their best players, but I've been hearing in the media a little bit that by the end of the season, watch out for Demidov being one of their best players from top lines 1 to I'd say even 3. And you take a look at their defense. You got a dynamic guy in Lane Hudson just doing his thing, dancing on the blue line. They are a scary team. The Oilers shouldn't take them lightly tonight.
And that's the thing with the Habs here is like there's so many things have to go right to properly perform a rebuild like that. Mm-hmm. I think we all know that as Edmonton Oilers fans. Took us a couple of kicks at the can, but the way that they have been able to draft successfully, hit on that. That's one thing impressive enough as it is. They've signed the right veterans over the years. They've got a young netminder in Sam Montembeault. And then this summer, you go out and you acquire a Noah Dobson, a guy who is in the prime elite of his career, and they didn't do it too early. I think they timed it just right when this team is ready to take that leap. And that is all they have done so far this season. The one positive for the Oilers side, I'll say tonight, Sam Montembeault has not had a great start to the NHL season thus far. Bad start, 2-2-0 record, but he's got a 326 goals against, an 857 save percentage. Don't want to be a box score hunter, but I perused Reddit today, and I did my digging for the Canadiens. And the story has been that their backup, Jacob Dobush, has been the one who's outplayed Montembeault thus far. They've each played 4 games. Dobush, he's 4-0. He has a 147 with a 950, but unfortunately for the Habs, they played last night, and he got the start against the Calgary Flames where, yes, the Habs won it in overtime. Let's talk here. Back-to-back, second half of that, you went even to an extra period. I also believe their last game was another overtime victory against the, I want to say the Buffalo Sabres, I think it was. Either way, don't quote me on that. But Sam Montembeault, I think, is a struggling, maybe just a little bit, goaltender right now. And you got struggling goalie, you've got struggling offense. I know I'm picking the side with Connor McDavid. Pangs, this could be a spot here. You just kick a man when he's down. Sam Montembeault might be struggling a little bit. This is time for the Oilers. And I mentioned they've allowed a lot of goals in tight. Montembeault struggling. Get in his kitchen. Get in his grill. Get in that blue paint. You agree?
100%. The Oilers, we know they play better on home ice. Hometown crowd feeding off the energy. Their passes are a lot better. Everything goes right a lot better at home. This is an opportunity for the Oilers kind of to start rewriting the ship a little bit. You only got one at home. You need this one, Oilers. You really do. You slumped on that road trip. Yep. Keeping it simple. Pucks on net. Dig, go to work, score some greasy goals tonight.
Buff Snell is in. Montreal is the only other Canadian team that I like. Yeah. I mean, I
don't hate them.
Yeah, it's pretty fair. It's hard to, once you're when you're watching a home game inside the Bell Center, it's hard to not buy into the Canadiens. But that ain't the case tonight. We're in Rogers Place. Also, Taylor, good point. It's so weird seeing other teams rebuild and it not take them 8 years. Must be nice to live in their world. Let's go now to your need-to-know information, courtesy of Wilhauk Beef Jerky, because only the finest tasting meat products earn that Wilhauk name. Made from 100% Alberta beef, their jerky is aged, seasoned, smoked, and marinated to savory perfection. They gladly fill orders of any size, and you can find their jerky, sausage, and other products exclusively out of their Leduc location. For more information and to get your jerky on, head on over to WilhaukBeefJerky.com. So it is expected to be the same roster for the Edmonton Oilers, but there's a little bit different alignment. Bert, if you'd be so kind as to throw it up for the folks at home. Your top line, as we mentioned, it's expected to be Leon Draisaitl with Connor McDavid and the youngster, the 21-year-old Matt Savoy. Your second line, Andrew Mangiapane, Manja. With Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Can't wait to ask you about him, Panger, because, come on, we all know how we're feeling about Nudes this season. And then Jack Roslovic, who I learned today, his real name is John Roslovic. Blew my mind to hear something like that. Your third line, and one I love, Vasily Podkolzin with Noah Philp and Trent Frederick. Your fourth line, it's the Iceman, fresh off scoring his first NHL goal with Arico, Mr. 1000, and Tommy Smokes, David Tomasek. What do you think of that nickname?
I've been hearing you say it pre and post game, and I giggle all the time. I think that's the best nickname of NHL player.
We were talking about it, that some of these new nicknames for the Edmonton Oilers, you got the Iceman, you got Tommy Smokes, there's some good, solid names out here for the Edmonton Oilers. On your deep pairings, you've got Ekholm with Evan Bouchard You've got Darnell Nurse with Jake the Snake. There's another one. And then Brett Kulak with Ty Emberson. Furthermore, Kasperi Kapanen was officially placed on injured reserve earlier today. He is expected to be out a couple weeks. It was a weird one. I believe it was against the Detroit Red Wings on the Sunday. Tried to line up a hit on a forecheck. Completely missed said hit. Went flying into the boards. And shockingly enough, those boards do not move. They do not have much give to them. And Cheeks, he got a little bit banged up in there. But we also, there's his numbers so far this season. 2 apples, 6 games, 12 minutes and 17 seconds time on ice. The joke we kind of keep making, Pangs, is that the Oilers aren't going to have to send anyone down if we just keep kicking the injury problem down the road. Maybe we'll never have to deal with this. And to add on to that, we did get some news about Matthias Janmark in a incredibly casual way from Chris Knobloch in his post-game interview after the Sens game. But shout out Zach Lang, because I would have missed this if it wasn't for Zach. He said that Nobby's quote was, Janmark is not coming back anytime soon, and that you might have to think whether or not there could be a setback, or Chris Knobloch is just a liar, and we've seen him do this a lot before with the Edmonton Oilers and their injuries. Last year, he told me that Victor Arvidsson was day-to-day, and he didn't play for 16 games.
Fair.
That's a lot of days to days, but either way, Gene Mark might not be out there for a bit for the Edmonton Oilers. Against the Habs, the Oilers have won 3 of their last 4, and shockingly enough, those 3 wins have all come in overtime against these Montreal Canadiens, so maybe there's an area for you to bet against these Habs. Obviously, last night, they went to overtime, and then shit out Brett corrected me. Their last game was against the Nashville Predators, where Cole Caulfield, talk about a guy dripping with swag once again. Have you ever heard of what his nickname is?
Goal Caulfield? I don't know.
I'll type it to you right here. That's what they call him. I can only imagine why they call him that. Leon Draisaitl, probably also similar to one Cole Caulfield. He has recorded a point in 10 of his last 11 games against the Montreal Canadiens, and he has 8 goals, 10 assists in that 11-game stretch. Maybe like Leon for an anytime goal this evening. And then finally, our pal Calvin Pickard, starts for Edmonton. He only has 2 starts this season, 1-1 record, 254, 865. It's Calvin Pickard. You know what you're going to get with Calvin Pickard. That's why the offense needs to show up. And I've got an emphasis on ripping the puck. I've had an emphasis on ripping the puck every single pregame. And only Ike Howard is the only one who's listening to me dearly, maybe Matt Savoy. On the opposite side for the Canadiens, they were in Calgary, as I mentioned. They beat the Habs 2-1. Last 2 games went to overtime. So they should be a little bit tired. Once again, they're an incredibly young squad. They got some young bucks. Something tells me they're going to be ready to go. And everybody gets up to play the Edmonton Oilers and Connor McDavid. You're always going to get the opposition's best punch. They are the Habs. 7th in the NHL in goals per game. They are 2nd in shots, or 22nd in shots. Fuck that up. 19th on the power play. Defensively, they've been all right. I'd say above average. 11th in goals against, 12th in shots allowed, and 16th on the PK. That'd be a nice area to see the Edmonton Oilers starting to let it rip a little bit extra. The Habs, they have also been dealing with some injuries to start this season. Patrick Laine is not expected to play tonight. He's missed the last 3 games with a lower body injury, and he's actually, as I read, seeking a second opinion on said lower body injury. That could be a little bit of a red flag for Habs fans. Caden Gooley, he's also on IR. He's expected to be out 4 to 6 weeks, also with a lower body injury. But as I mentioned off the top, they will get one return. Kirby Dach, the local boy, expected to make his return against the Oilers down at Rogers Place. He missed the last 3 games with an upper body injury, but he's slated, according to DFO, to play on the 4th line this evening for the Habs. And then finally, Sam Montembeault. I mentioned his numbers, not great this season, but in his career against the Oilers, 2-3-2 record. Some of those OT losses were on Montembeault. 264 goals against, 913 save percentage in his history against the Edmonton Oilers. Now, people, play along at home. I'm curious what you guys are thinking heading into this one, because there is a couple storylines. You're back on home ice. There's a couple keys to victory, I think, as well in this game. But my storyline is getting this offense back on track. There's is enough fucking around time here for the Oilers. I will just say it bluntly that you can make all the excuses. Your Stanley Cup hangover, I get it. You're on the road trip, I get it. You got new faces in the lineup, I get it. But there does come a point, and it's right around the 10-game mark where I think, now this will be game number 8 on the season, where it's shit or get off the pot time. We're trying a couple different line combinations. Nothing in the top 6 has really consistently worked. So I am in support of throwing Connor and Leon up there together and a little Matt Savoy. You got to like that. So my emphasis, my storyline, my key to victory is offense. Take it when it's there. Do not overthink it. Do not overcomplicate. You rip that puck when you are in the slot, because I am getting fucking sick of doing post-game shows, talking about the inability to shoot the puck. Last game, while a W, I was still frustrated that was even a hockey game that went to overtime, a game that the Oilers in 60 minutes only scored 2 goals against a reeling Sens team, a reeling Linus Ullmark. That's enough. We're done with this. It's time to get real here. Back on home ice. Offense, offense, offense. That is my key to victory and my storyline. Panger, what about you?
I'm going to have to piggyback on that.
Hop on.
When things are, when you're not scoring, right, sometimes, again, we're going to talk about this, but you got to keep it simple. And one way to score is shooting the puck. And I'm talking about, it's either Jack or John Roslovic. I don't know his first name, but Roslovic. With him, he's had some chances. He scored, I think, a few games ago, 4 shots on net, 3 shots on net. With him, I feel coming to a new team, maybe he doesn't want to be like a puck hog. There's been instances where he's passed the puck up. I did a review of all 22 of his goals last season. That guy can snipe. He's got a very quick release. The puck is on and off his stick, and he could wire it, and he can wire it down the wing. I want to see him shoot more. I want to see Evan Bouchard shoot the puck a little bit more. He hasn't scored, but it's coming. Can I give you a stat?
Please
do. Interesting stat. Chris Knobloch said last season, when players get to about 5 or 6 expected goals, they're bound to pop. They're bound to score. I did a little study. I did my own sample. About 70% of the time, it's true. Evan Bouchard leads the Oilers in 7.38 expected goals for. Evan Bouchard is about to pop. I'm looking at him tonight to score a big goal.
I'm just scrolling. I'm scrolling. Also, like 70% of the time, it works every time. Evan Bouchard, anytime goal, plus 375 this evening. And once again, you kind of look at his last couple of games here for shots on goal for Bouch. 4-3, 4-3, 4. And while those look good on the box score, I swear, just the eye test, I haven't seen them, especially on the power play, run it through Bouchard as much as that the Bouch bomb. It does seem like they're doing a little bit of a 1-3-1, so it's a little bit clogged up there. It will come eventually for Evan Bouchard. And all right, I'm in. I'm betting a Bouch anytime goal now that you're going to throw 70% of the time. It works every time. I'm in there. Also, Brett had to message, what do they call Cole Caulfield? I gave him the nickname. There we go. Now he appreciates it. He said mid. Also, somebody asked, Jesse, this killed me. Well, yeah, what is Janmark's injury? Levi killed me. Gene Rash for Matthias Janmark. And then Arcturus said, Bordzy, shut up and tell me where you got that shirt.
It's a nice shirt.
It's
Einstein,
yeah, it's
equals MC squared.
He's getting his dab on. I'll be honest with you. I don't remember where I got the shirt. I think my mother got it for me. So shout out to her. She's an angel. Bert, let's pull it up. The DFO lines here for the Edmonton Oilers in case anyone joining late, they don't know what the Oilers are going to look like this evening. Dry McDavid with Matt Savoy. Manja with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and John Roslovic. Then your third line, Vasily Podkolzin with Noah Philp and Freddie. Your fourth line, the Iceman, Ike Howard with Adam Henrique and David Tomasek. Your deep pairings, Matthias Ekholm with Evan Bouchard. Nursey with Jake Wallman, who I want to talk about, and Brett Kulak with Ty Emberson. And boy, was Jake the Snake ever a sight for sore eyes for Edmonton Oilers fans everywhere. I also argue that guy's dripping with swag. Everything that guy does is just looks sick. Just looks awesome. He made his season debut on Tuesday, and for a guy who's been injured for a couple games here, he didn't look any worse for wear. It was an undisclosed injury that kept him out. He picked up right where he left off in the NHL playoffs. He's a difference maker out there on the ice. And I kept arguing a lot of what has plagued the Oilers to start the season was the inability to make a simple breakout pass. His partner, specifically one Darnell Nurse, has been lacking in that category. But Woolman just seems to come in on that pairing, kind of solidify things, settle things down. And I feel like Darnell doesn't need to play out of his boots. You know what I mean? He can kind of sit back and be more responsible. Woolman, we know he's a great puck mover, and that's definitely not Darnell Nurse's MO to start the year specifically. And I like the idea of the two of them piggybacking off of each other. As a pairing on Tuesday, they had 10 blocks between the two of them. Darnell Nurse had 6. Jake Wallman had 4. Jake Wallman had a couple hits, a couple shots, and one sick-ass celebration that I joked it wasn't a gritty. That was the next best thing, and he's going to be paired with Darnell. Wallman's been very consistent from training camp. He said, they're going to play me with Darnell on the right side. I want it at the beginning, and I don't want you to take me off for a while. I want to learn. I want to grow in that pairing. And Wallman, I got to say, I applaud him for wanting to do this with Darnell Nurse, and that he seems so up to the task, so down for the idea of being whatever the Edmonton Oilers need him to be. That is playing on his unnatural right side. And then, Bert, we have the quote here from Jake Wallman, which I love him. All the power to him. He said, I trust Nursey. Me and him work well together. We're great friends off the ice. So I think that's the type of thing that translates on the ice. We talk about it all the time. The Darnell Nurse whisper. And not that Darnell Nurse is not capable of making his own decisions and playing hockey the right way. If you say he is incapable, we can't have this conversation because he's been good in the regular season for the last 2 years. He has been fighting it so far this year. But I love the fact that Jake Wallman wants to be a part of the solution on that pairing because he knows Darnell ain't going anywhere. Jake, you're here for another 8 years in total. You ain't going anywhere. I really admire that, and I really respect it from a guy in Jake Wallman.
Absolutely. Ever since Jake Wallman has come to the Edmonton Oilers, he just oozes confidence and swagger. Yep. Think back to when his first game as an Edmonton Oiler, just lights up Mikko Rantanen, flip highlight reel pass to Zach Hyman. Now his first game of the season, misses a stretch of games, blocking shots, good first pass. And he just scores on a bomb of a one-timer there and scores the game winner with a sick Jake Wallman wobble celly. The guy oozes confidence in that swagger that he brought. And I like it on that goal. I don't know if you saw it. Matt Savoy was just kind of behind him, and he kind of giggled about that. Hey, boys, that means we were on a slump. I just scored the game winner, but it could be fun and light. And Jake Wallman, that's what he brings to the lineup. Not only does he bring that swagger, but like you said, he might be the Darnell Nurse whisperer as well.
A man can pray. And like the one thing, I don't want to sound so TikTok brain rotty here, but at risk of that, because I'm gonna. The vibes, man. The vibes that when you have a guy like a Jake Wallman, when you bring around a Matt Savoy or an Iceman in Ike Howard there, I joked, we haven't seen Leon Draisaitl smile all season until Ike Howard buried that goal on Tuesday night. And you need those guys around because it's a long 82 games. It's a long journey to get up the mountaintop 7 games of the NHL playoffs. Waz just showed up here as well. Hi, Waz. How you doing, buddy? You like Jake Wallman too? Hell yeah, you do. That's right, buddy. Also, Jake Wallman is in, and this made me laugh because he said, anything for the team. Anything for the team. That's my kind of guy there. I guess I mentioned as well, what have you thought about the Iceman? Thus far, he obviously scored his first NHL goal on Tuesday. I joke, the only time he might get on the ice with Connor and Leon is if he takes a penalty. And he had 10, 15 seconds, and he took full advantage of it, lock-loaded, ripped that puck. It was a beautiful shot. Good to see. Once again, been a bit of a mixed bag for the Iceman because I'd say he's had some highlights, he's had some lowlights, specifically seen him try to go like 1-on-4, like 3 to 5 times so far this season, which I hate to tell you, youngster, that's going to work in the NCAA. I don't think that's going to work in the NHL. Even Connor McDavid struggles to do that at points. But what have you thought of the Iceman? I think he's brought a level of energy here for the Oilers, but Bert, maybe you can pull it up, the stats of him and Matt Savoy both this season. The youngsters for the Oil that Ike Howard, while he's been noticeable, he has a team low 9:55 time on ice per game. Vibe check on the Iceman. His vibes are good, though.
Yeah, absolutely. It's taken him a little bit to adjust to the NHL type of style of game. Like you said, he tried to go 1-on-4. I remember one time he went tried to do a 1-on-2, and the defenseman he tried to do the 1-on-2 was Adam Fox. And that's not going to happen.
Bold.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes you do need to dump the puck. So I think it's taken him a little bit to adjust to the NHL style. However, his game has been creeping up against the Red Wings. He's in and around the spots. He got a shot in the slot. Unfortunately, didn't get the shot that he wanted. But then against the Senators, Leon Draisaitl finds him. Like you said, that was a good snapshot, and he buried it. And then thereafter, I'm very curious to see what that does for his confidence and his play. Fuchsia Sass, after he intercepted a puck and loaded a puck up, I think he got the best shot he's got all season. It sailed across the over the net. So I think with Howard scoring, I think his confidence is going to soar, and I'd like to see what he does in the next few games.
Hopefully, like when I talk about Matt Savoy here for the Iceman, maybe the floodgates break open, and he was only credited with one shot on goal in the last game. That's how I know you're watching the game, baby, because he was in some prime scoring opportunities. He missed wide. Those are things that are going to come. Him and Matt Savoy. It's nice having young guys here to get excited about again. Watching Holloway and Broberg struggle. Just kidding. I don't want to bring him up. Also, Jazz Smokey asked, did Louis DeBrusque end up using the Tomasek nickname on the broadcast? I was on ONE. I got to sit. I was co-hosting for the week. I said it. You could see him light up a little bit. It was like, so if he ever does use it, we're taking a victory lap. We're shocking the beer. That's going to be absolutely incredible. I don't think I'm going to hold my breath on that one, but maybe possibly. Let's go now to the starting goaltender report brought to you by Odd Company, Nation Beer Everyday Lager. Perfect for game day, perfect for every day of the week. You can pick them up 2 locations, Odd Company locations, that is, in the Edmonton area, or simply check liquorconnect.com and find out which local liquor stores are carrying these. Hanger, how good does that go down?
Delicious. Oh, my goodness. It's delicious.
Let's take a look here, Bert. Pull it up, the tail of the tape between our 2 starting goaltenders. One, Calvin Pickard against Sam Montembeault. Calvin Pickard 1-1, 254 goals against, 865 save percentage, which is not great, but it is still better than Sam Montembeault's 4 appearances, 326 goals against with an 857 save percentage. For me, picks. I love the guy. We all know this. Part of the solution, never the problem, in my opinion, of Calvin Pickard. But I was a little surprised to see him get this start. Obviously, the Edmonton Oilers are playing a back-to-back this weekend against the Seattle Kraken on Saturday and the Vancouver Canucks on Sunday. I thought they would have went with Stu. Looked very good thus far this season, but they're going to go with picks. And then I guess my question to you is, would you rather have Skinner against the Kraken or against the Vancouver Canucks on this weekend? I mean, Calvin Pickard, you go back to 2 years ago in the playoffs, won a big game in Vancouver against the Vancouver Canucks before. I don't know. Where would you align your goalies?
That is a tough one. You know what? Just based on what you said there, maybe Stuart Skinner against the Kraken and then Calvin Pickard against the Vancouver Canucks. I think it was game 5 in the playoffs where he had a tremendous game. So sometimes,
because then they put Stu back in for 6.
Yeah. And based on what you said, I would roll with that. Absolutely.
My pal Cal, I do appreciate him. Also, I knew when I said it. Austin, he said shotgunning beer. I'm in. Austin's always down for a good shotgun. Then on the other side, Sam Montembeault. Tough start. He's much better than that. Like, once again, I don't want to harp on a guy that's had 4 starts this season. They haven't been great. I still think he is a very above average goaltender. He was on Team Canada's roster for the 4 Nations. Let me bring this up maybe as a further point. Stuart Skinner entered his way into Team Canada conversation. We all know what he said over the summer, that one of his goals is to be on that Team Canada Olympic roster. I think a lot of Oilers fans, NHL fans in general, laughed when they heard him say that this summer. But a couple games into the season, it doesn't seem so far-fetched. And then on the other side, you look at some of Canada's other goaltenders. They've been struggling to start the year thus far. What do you think? Does Stu actually have a legitimate shot, or am I just having fun with this and doing what I do?
I haven't actually thought about that, but now that you bring that up, the way that Stuart Skinner has been playing this season, he had a blunder in the first game of the season. One thing that people harp on Stuart Skinner is his side-to-side suck and he's a little bit slow. The guy lost 15 pounds. His side-to-side has been pretty good. Another thing that people say is Stuart Skinner doesn't make the big saves when he needs to. Stuart Skinner, the game against the Ottawa Senators, the Oilers blunder on leaving 2 people in front of the net.
David Perron, he robbed him in front.
Absolutely.
No business making that save.
So the 2 things that people harp on Stuart Skinner for, his side-to-sides and making the big saves, Stuart Skinner is showing that he might have a legitimate chance.
He might. And, it's crazy that, once again, maybe the chat was right all along. and that the goalie coach, Dustin Schwartz, was the entire problem. No, I don't think it was, but whatever it is right now, it's a perfect storm. Don't change the things, Stu, but it is Calvin Pickard tonight for the Oilers. Let's go now to the away lineup for your Montreal Canadiens, and it is brought to you by our good friends at Greta Bar Yeg, favorite spot in the city, arcade, bar, street food. We will be there throughout the season. Dogpatch is more of our intimate vibe. There's some pretty damn good food down here, but we're going to be at Greta this weekend. Greta YVR. I've never been to any other Gretas. Actually, that's a lie. I've been to Calgary once. Also a pretty sick venue. It's got two levels to the Calgary Greta. Very excited to go down to Vancouver Sunday night. We will be pre-gaming from Greta. Then we're hitting the streets. We're walking our way down to Rogers Arena. Yep, Rogers Arena. Yep. And then we're going to walk our way back afterwards, do the post-game show from Greta. I'm excited to see what kind of games they got over there.
Absolutely.
Let's see.
Are they going to have a bed for you like they have here?
I got them to ship it in.
Okay,
I got them to ship it in. Nice. You know me. I don't leave. Bert, let's pull it up. The projected lineup here for the Montreal Canadiens this evening. Your top line, it's Cole Caulfield with Nick Suzuki and Uri Slavkovsky. That's a pretty good trio. That's a young trio. That's one that kind of scares you. Alex Newhook is the second line left winger with Oliver Kapanen, who we talked to Max Lapierre earlier today. Humble brag, nice little flex right there. He was singing the praises of Oliver Kapanen. And then obviously your second line right wing, Ivan Demidov. There's your player to watch, people. Your third line, Josh Anderson with Jake Evans and Brendan Gallagher. And there he is returning to the lineup in a unique spot, fourth line left wing for one Kirby Dach. We know the potential that he has, the skill that he does possess. Your best ability is availability, and I'd argue Kirby Dach is he's been light in that category. I didn't see what that said.
Bird had something to say. So.
Oh, nice. Joe Valeno, he's going to be your fourth line center, and then Zach Balduke. Your deep pairings, Mike Matheson with Noah Dobson, Jaden Struble with Lane Hudson, and then Arbor Jacki with Alex Carrier. Let me ask you, let's pull it in. Fine. Brett, you can come on in. What do you got to say?
Should unmute myself before I start talking. Oliver Kapanen, you mentioned Oliver Kapanen. A lot of people, I was watching that Flames game last night. They're big fans of how Demidov and Kapanen kind of feed off each other and how they kind of balance each other out was the term that they kind of said. And I also wanted to mention, kind of obvious, last name. He's Kasperi Kapanen's cousin.
Oh, no way. A fellow Cheeks.
Yeah. Whoa. Hold on. What?
There's only one Cheeks. There's only one Kasperi Cheeks Clapperton. Let me ask you your panger. You look through that lineup. It's one we always ask. Who's your player to watch? Who's I'm going to ask in the forward group specifically because you could easily pick Lane Hudson. Eyes going to be glued to him. But that forward group, there is some good young skill. Who's your player to watch from the Habs?
You know what? I had one, but I think you might pick him, so I'm going to change it up. I'm going to go with Nick Suzuki. I think he has 11 points in 8 games. He's in the top 10 in NHL in points. And he also, I looked it up today, he is like second cousins with David Suzuki of The Nature of Things. So that's kind of cool.
No way.
Yeah.
I used to watch that show all the time.
Yeah, pretty cool. not related to hockey, but I think that's kind of cool. So he's my player to watch.
That's a fun fact if I've ever seen one before. For me, I just want to get a look at Ivan Demidov. I watched some of that game last night against the Calgary Flames. Color me impressed with this guy, that this is his first technically rookie season in the NHL, and that the fact this guy came in so hyped up. Do you remember when he showed up at the Montreal airport and it was like the Queen had just showed up, but it's some young kid hockey player, but he's come in to a situation where he's kind of needed to show some offensive support here, and he's fit like a glove. He is must-watch TV, especially you mentioned it, that pass that he delivered yesterday in overtime. Those are the type of plays you get with that guy. But then on the back end, I think their addition, I kind of mentioned it, the addition of Noah Dobson to this squad makes them so legit. That is your true number one guy that can eat 25 minutes a night. Yes, Lane Hudson is nice. Yes, he was nominated for the Calder last season. We know the type of player he is. He's an offensive guy. He loves to skate. I don't know if his defensive game is totally matured yet. He's in his second season in the NHL. But you bring in a guy like Noah Dobson, you pair him with a Mike Matheson, who also is a very good, stable, responsible top defenseman for these Habs. I love the move of bringing in Noah Dobson on the back end. I just think that's the guy. That's the leader on your back end. That brings such stability on the back end, and I'm sure makes your goaltenders a little bit happier. Thoughts on Noah Dobson?
I think, you know what, like you said, he's I remember when he signed his contract, a lot of people were like, Evan Bouchard shouldn't get as much as Noah Dobson.
That was the direct comparison.
That was
the
direct comparison. And right now, I mean, as it stands, he's got 4 points in 8 games compared to Boucher's 1 and 7. You know, he's outplaying that comparison wildly. So Noah Dobson, like you said, he could be their number 1 defenseman. That's something, that every team needs. That's something that the Montreal Canadiens needed, and they have it in him, in that young stud.
And once again, it's not like, so I said, they've got the right age groups here and everything, because it's not like he's not in the timeline of a Suzuki and a Caulfield, a Slavkovsky, a Hudson. Damn it, they got names galore on this squad. Brett, who's your player to watch this evening?
Yeah, mine's a little off the beaten path here, but I'm going with Zach Bolduc on that 4th line. I loved Zach Bolduc in his draft year. He was one of those players that I really paid attention to, and for a lack of a better term, a prick. He's a prick to play against. Him and Zachary Leroux, who I believe he's still in St. Louis right now, but in their draft years, very similar players where they just do one of those players who just you hate to play against, but would love to have on your team. In that draft year, I'm pretty sure it was the Xavier Bourgault draft. Bolduc and Zachary Leroux were 2 of the players that I really wanted the Edmonton Oilers to take a look at. Bolduc actually getting power play time as well in Montreal, scored a power play goal in Calgary last night with a sick one-timer. He's, again, just a guy to sit there and watch and go, I hate watching him against my team, but I wish he was on my team.
That's a good pick, Bert. He's got 4 goals in their 8 games thus far this season. He's 22 years old. And that's a guy you look at, he's on the 4th line with Kirby Dach. That's some skill for Docker to play with, vice versa. Buckle up tonight, because I think we're going to see a very good hockey game from the Habs and Oilers. And that game, we might want to place some wagers on. So let's go now to Bordzy's Bankroll, brought to you by Bet365. Download the app today, because whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Use the code NATION to get in on the game. Must be 19 or older. Please play responsibly. Banger, I like this one tonight. I like this one a lot. I was playing with some things. I was thinking about getting crazy with Jake Woolman.
Yep.
But I stayed in a little bit. I'm kicking it off with a Matt Savoy 1+ point. He's on the top line with the big dogs. We talk about it. He's been around it. He's had his chances. He's had his moments. He only has 1 point in his NHL career. Tonight, he doubles that, and he gets one at +132. You stick anyone on a line with Connor and Leon, you're going to give me +132 for 1 point. I'll smash that every step of the way, responsibly. Then I'm picking his line mate, 97, 2+ points, -115. That's one of the better numbers you'll get on McDavid, 2+ points. It's back at home. It's an offense night. It's a get-right spot. Let's, as I said, shit or get off the pot time. Also, scored his first goal of the season last game. Maybe floodgates for Connor McDavid. And then, dude, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Jake Woolman for 2+ blocks. I was thinking about being ballsy and going up to 3. The ONE group bet we made today, 4 blocks for Woolman, 4 blocks for Nurse, and I think it's +2,600, something like that. Last game, they had 6 and 4 between the two of them, so maybe they can continue to stop some pucks. We got Savoy, we got Connor, we got Woolman. Which of those bets do you like the most?
I wish I could bet that you're going to nail all 3 of these, but the one that I like the most, Woolman. Jake the effing snake, man. That guy just blocks absolutely everything. He's not afraid to block, and that's the thing you love about him. That's why they signed him for $7 million a season. He blocks shots, he eats pucks, and he brings the offense and swagger. Jake the Snake for me.
Jake the Snake, I like that one. Bert, I'd ask you got a spider cooked up this evening or anything wagered up on Bet365?
No spider for me tonight. I probably should have shame reloaded before the last game. I just straight up haven't. I'm playing their free game, or whatever it is that they call it. So I'm trying to work my way back in that way. So no, Personally, no spider, but I do like, of course. I mean, I think I was the little bug in your ear here.
Yeah, you were. I wanted to put Nursey in there for blocks, and Brett was like, "Hey, you're putting Jake in there. All right, you're putting Jake. Give the people
I
what they
said,
want."
hey, take a look at the ink in my leg that you forced me to put in here. You can't swear at this present moment, but this is your fault. So no, I'm going 96 2+ blocks. Why not ladder it and go 3+ blocks? He might even finish with 7. Who knows?
When you take these bets on your screen and you parlay them together, plus 420.
Damn.
If that's not a sign from above, then I don't know what is. Shout out to Bet365. I'll meet you at the cashier. That is not legally binding. Do so at your own risk. And once again, only wager responsibly, only bet what you're willing to lose. My final question, Panger and Brett, you as well. Everyone in the chat, play along. Score prediction, any time goal scorer. What happens tonight?
4-2 Oilers, anytime goal scorer. As I mentioned, Evan Bouchard, he is at 7.38 expected goals for. He is bound to burst. Evan Bouchard's getting one today.
Brett, what about you, my brother?
Didn't I say Jake Wallman goal last game too? Pretty sure.
Probably. Sounds like something.
I normally do. Yeah, no, I'm kind of behind A, kind of a point night, but B, like this team's on the second of a back-to-back. They just went to overtime, and yeah, the flight from Calgary to Edmonton isn't that bad, but you fly in, you get to your hotel at 11:30, midnight, whatever it may be. You finally get to bed at 1:30, all that stuff. I think it might be kind of a point night for the Edmonton Oilers. I'll go. You know what? Let's go 6-2 Oil. Why not? Jake Wallman goal again.
Why not?
I mostly just want to see Wallman score again, so then we can just kind of see a little bit of the wobble.
Oh yeah, give it to me.
Yes, sir.
I like that.
And I had Peyton also, I believe we were explained that there's a song that goes to this, or there's a dance that goes to that. I'm 30 now, brother. I'm out on this stuff. I'm on your world here, baby. Look at that guy go. It's a thing of beauty. I see some people in the chat. There's Peyton. Wow, the youngster says 6-7 Oilers. Do you get it? Because I hate it, Peyton. I hate that you did that. Fighting off 5-3 Oilers with a 97 Hattie. I like that. Mastro works. Elkman saying hello to Big Time Pangs. Go Oilers. Win 4-2. New guys are going to step it up for me. I'm going to say 4-2 for the Edmonton Oilers with a Matt Savoy first NHL goal. Let's get it done. We love you all. We appreciate you all. We're having a great time down here at Dogpatch. That beer went down like water. Yeah. That's how Nation Beer Everyday Loggers do. Come on down. Keep it locked on our socials. Obviously, we're going to be here for a lot of games. We'll be here all night long. And then we're going to be doing Oilers Nation After Dark from upstairs in the studio. Keep it locked here on the Oilers Nation YouTube channel. Make sure you throw down your courtesy like on the way out. Make sure you are subscribed. And we will talk in a little bit. Oilers, Habs, Oilers. Hope it's a good one. Good luck on the Bet365 Battlegrounds. And we will talk in a bit. Good luck, everybody.